coming from a very religious positioning to a political positioning, and these are new trends that we have to analyze. So from accepting the word, accepting the diversity within Islam, we come to new development in our communities, in our world, in Muslim majority countries, as well as in the West. So I have three questions: how to understand, how to deal, and how to act. How to deal with the trends and how to act as Western and European Muslims in our world, not only, by the way, as Western Muslims, but as Muslims, how to deal with this phenomenon. But first, how to understand it, how to understand what is happening. So, what we have now is something that we have to start with. And what we have to start with is, within Islam, there are now brothers and sisters in Islam who come with a very literalist way of dealing with the scriptural sources, the Quran was Sunnah. And this is, in fact, in contemporary terms, we would say a very literalist conservative trend. These brothers and sisters are part of our community, and we should respect who they are and what they are following. So you have people, for example, coming with a literalist understanding, and they are following a trend that is coming from, it could be any country, it could be here in Germany, and they are conservative and very strict in some of their behavior. Some of them are telling you music is completely haram. The niqab is an obligation. And they have a way of dealing with things. On this, it's as long as this is your position as Muslims, and you take it as your position, we accept your position, and we accept this. I don't share these views, but this is your position, and this is your choice. Now, be careful, don't tell me I'm less Muslim than you, because I'm not following you literal interpretations. We are both Muslims, and you are part of the accepted diversity of our religion from the very beginning. It could come from many causes. There is something which is really, you have people, the way they are reading, it's not coming, you know, all the people who are telling you, all these people who are literalists are ignorant, are wrong. That's not true. That some people are very intellectually sophisticated, but the way they read the text is in a way which is strict to the letter of what is said, and that's your business, that's your choice. This is part of our tradition. It's not the mainstream, but it's an accepted, as long as you are not saying something which is against the principles of Islam and what the scholar said, حَلَّلَ حَرَامًا أَوْ حَرَّمَ حَلَالًا. That this means that you are not making licit something which is illicit, or illicit something which is licit. You are within the trend, you are within the limits. عَلَى بَرَكَةِ اللَّهِ. We accept this diversity. Now, we have also brothers and sisters who are coming to this trend, the literalists, our psychological attitude. It's not intellectual, it's psychological. And very often we see young Muslims coming to this trend. Why? Because the specificity of this trend, the literalist, is black and white. What is black should be black. Instead, you have to tell me haram, and I know it's haram, and it's halal, it's halal. We know that inna al-halal bayyinun wa inna al-haram bayyinun. We know that al-halal and haram are clear. Now, in between, there are things that we need to take a decision on our own situation with our own. So not everything is black and white. Some psychologically, they want to distinguish. This is them, this is us. We are Muslims, you are not. This is a psychology of otherness. And they come to very literal understanding, if you dress like him, so you are from them. So that's wrong. They take the literalist reading of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and they translate this into, you know, the way I'm dressed, bid'ah, haram. So they have an understanding which is to distinguish themselves from the surrounding society. So as long as you are doing it with yourself, for yourself, within this understanding, I don't care. That's your choice and I respect it. Don't tell me it's the only way to understand the hadith. It's the only way to understand the Quran. There are many ways, and before you, there were great scholars who had many interpretations of the same text. So what we should advocate in the name of our interpretations within the limit of Islam, what is known as Islamic, is an accepted diversity, and we accept that there are genuine, conservative, literalist trends within our tradition. Now, having said that, as I said, we should accept this as long as it's within the limits of Islam. What we are witnessing now is some who are using the concept of Salafi and saying we are Salafi, and they are saying things that are clearly outside the limits of what Islam is saying. And this is why we say no. There is an accepted diversity and there are statements that are not acceptable as Muslims. For example, to say any non-Muslim, I'm going to attack him or her because he's a kafir or she's a kafira, and it's not me. I don't have to respect the law of the land because this land is not a Muslim majority land. We say no. Nothing is like this in our tradition. This way of understanding the Salafi trend is betraying the very essence of Islam. We don't accept that. So we need to stand up. We need to stand up. And this is where it's easy to clap. And by the way, I don't want you to clap till I end. So, and even when I end, you don't clap. Okay, just think about it. And even Allahu Akbar, just be silent and think. And if you like it, say Allahu Akbar with it. It's not a meeting, it's very serious. It's a very serious matter. It's a very serious challenge for Muslims today, because some are going to use this against us. And if we don't stand up as Muslims, knowing, understanding what we are, who we are, what we want, the people are going to use this. The strength of the enemies are based on the weakness of ourselves, in our understanding and as Muslims. So don't blame the people to use our weaknesses if you don't know how to deal with our weaknesses to get some strength in our understanding of Islam. So my point here is to say, when people are targeting the non-Muslims and saying, for example, this is a community of people, the German people, the Western people, all are kuffar and we have rights on them, we say no. The first, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, people have dignity and you respect. In Muslimun عِنْدَ شُرُوطِهِمْ. You enter this country, there are laws in this country, you respect the law of the country. This is to be a Muslim. Anything which is against this is against Islam. And we are not going to accept it in the name of please. We are not going to accept this in the name of accepted diversity. There are limits. There are limits. Now, anything which has to do with violence, that you can kill innocent people, that you can insult people. لا تسبوا الذين يدعون من دون الله فيسبوا الله عدوا من غير علم. That you can't do this. You can't insult what they believe. That's not Islamic. Islam is based on لكم دينكم ولي دين. لا إكراه في الدين. These are the main principles of Islam, that we respect the beliefs of the other, and if we don't agree with what they are doing, we don't insult people. We are not a religion of insult. We are a religion of dignity and noble behavior. This is إنك على خلق عظيم. This is what the Prophet ﷺ was teaching us. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. The Prophet ﷺ, and he never responded to insults with insult. Never. The Prophet ﷺ, and so insulting, betraying the law of the country, this is not the Salaf attitude that we know. The Prophet ﷺ and the companions were not like this. So my point here is really to come to this understanding of the limits of our acceptance, and this is how we should understand and how we should deal with this trend.